Hello and welcome back once again, pioneers, awakened souls, to werewolves, divergence, and glitches. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you may be in this matrix and galaxy. Certainly hope that you're all doing well. This video is a short video in dedication of my decode to the World Series that we did a few nights ago and shared with our pioneers in the Discord, preparing us for what will be World War III. And we'll get started. A few nights ago we saw the Texas Rangers win, showing that 7 teams over the past year that have now made it to the respected title championship game wearing the red, black, and white uniforms had lost. Dating all the way back to last year's World Series, we saw the Philadelphia Phillies wearing the red, black, and white lose the World Series. This is where I started to see the color scheme and alchemy for last year play out. We then went on to watch the Georgia Bulldogs and Kansas City Chiefs both win wearing the red, black, and white in their uniforms. So either way, it's still showing me that there is a large confluence here to the process of alchemy. For instance, when we took the blue and yellow themed Denver Nuggets, who just won the previous NBA championship, they finished the series wearing red, black, and white uniforms against the red, black, and white Miami Heat. And I asked myself why. So for the first time, we saw, and I thought it was the first time, somebody corrected me, the Texas Rangers have actually been in 3 World Series. But I read this article the other night, right after they won, and it was, tying us into the 2011 game, the World Series. And it was the only other time that I knew personally that the Rangers had made it. So, correction there. Thank you for correcting me, but it was still talking about this 2011 game. Back when Texas came within 1 strike of the title twice, okay? So, again, the 2 1s, tying us into 2011, tying us into the 11 theme that I was sharing in this decode. So the first time the Texas Rangers played in the race for the pennant was in 2011, now coming out of the 11th year anniversary of their loss. They were back in the race for the pennant in the World Series. I thought it was making their overall record 1-1, but it's making it 1-2. Okay, so 2 losses, 1 win, or 2 1s still yet again. All right, as we approach the start of the 11th month, they also were the first team in history to win all road games along the way, and their record for the postseason this year was 11-0. So I told my pioneers in a Halloween live that this month it was going to be all about the 11s, and we're seeing that. We know George W. Bush is owner of the Texas Rangers, and they won the 119th World Series this year on the 119th day of his age. So, not surprising, you guys, and he was also commander-in-chief in 2001 when 9/11 took place. In alchemy, you would mirror the numbers, never mimic. 119, 9/11. This is showing me that we truly are about to see another worldwide World War event take place. More than likely the start of World War III, pioneers. Both world wars started on a day that added up to 68 in numerology. World War I, 7 plus 28 plus 19 plus 14, 68. World War II, 9 plus 1 plus 19 plus 39 equals 68. We know in 1968, 911 was invented and issued as the emergency alert code in America. That was the same year that construction on the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center, started, as well as the same year that George W. Bush graduated Yale University and Skull and Bones. Then 33 years later, while this man is in office, we see the 2 towers come down, the 11 come down. So, remember, pioneers, 9/11 leaves 111 days left in the year unless it is a leap year. And we just saw the Texas Rangers win on 11-1. That is the manifestation number that we teach you about. Okay? The very important abundance, blessings, brings desires into fruition. What are the elites manifesting is what I asked my pioneers. So I'll be paying close attention to 11-14-2023 because it adds up to 68. If we take this upcoming day of the 14th and tie it to 9/1/1939, we can see that it is exactly 1,010 months and 1 week. Let us pray the 111 yet again. Remember, pioneers, all of this is happening during the 111th year anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. And when we type that out in numerology and gematria, we get the 111. I'll add more if I find, is what I told my pioneers, and I found more. In continuation to this decode, we saw that on the same day that the Texas Rangers won, basketball legend Bob Knight, the General, Robert Montgomery Knight, passed away on November 1st, 2023, the 11-1 yet again. This man died at 83 years old. This came 19 days after the anniversary of the Knights Templars' infamous Friday the 13th persecution. We had a Friday the 13th in October. 19 days later, Bob Knight dies. This is in 1307, where the Knights Templar rounded up and burned at the stake. 1/11/2023, when added up another way, gives us the 19, tying us into Bob 19, or Bobby. And remember, he also coached at Indiana for 29 years and won 3 titles. Keep in mind, this is all in preparation for World War III. We know his death came a span of 41 days from Indiana's birthday. BK, Bob Knight, 41. Skull and Bones, 41. USA, 41. And 9/11 happened on a date that added to 41. 9 plus 11 plus 20 plus 1 equals 41. So, Indiana is the 19th state of the Union, and we know the moon has its 19-year cycle, and his name has night in it. And we know the moon rules the night. He died right after eclipse season. Again, he died 137 days before the anniversary of his final game at Indiana, the Hoosiers. 137 is the 33rd prime number in math, tying us into Freemason George W. Bush, Knight 33, or Knights Templar in 1307, and the murder there. That is 137, the 33rd prime number. I stated all that to my pioneers so that I could then tell them that Robert Montgomery Knight gave us the 121, the 11th prime, and I told you it was all about the 11s this month. His name also gives you 84 when typed out, and he died at 83, but that means if you take it back to his mother's womb, he died at 84, from the womb to the tomb. So, the last March Madness tournament was the 84th tournament. Keep in mind, I told you all in my live stream on Halloween, I considered November to be my later half of the year March. Okay? My March of the year in the later half. So, of course, we see basketball legend Bobby Knight, the General, die as basketball season is tipping off. They called him the General, like 38, or like Murder 38, Death 38, RIP 38. He died at 83. General ties us to military and Commander-in-Chief, or Bush, President Bush. And remember, he also coached at Army twice, like 2-1-11, or tying it into the 2 world wars we've seen thus far. So to me, this is showing even more confluence to the start of World War III. So, once again, after Knight was accused of choking an Indiana player during practice in an incident that was recorded on video, the university instituted a zero-tolerance policy specifically for Knight. Zero tolerance equals 68, just like both world wars added to 68 in numerology. So, sharing all that with you to share with you a little bit more, pioneers, in this short decode of World War III. We know that Israel has just went back to war for the second time in its Yom Kippur War. It started October 6th in 1973. It started October 7th this year. 50 years later to the day, we see war yet again, reminding me of the potential upcoming draft, which we could see yet again, pioneers, which also happened in 1973. And we know we are coming out of the very biblical Jubilee year. The Jubilee year, and it is a 50-year cycle. So that's why we're seeing Yom Kippur War yet again in Israel, and why we may potentially see World War III and a draft yet again. So, getting back to this decode with Israel, let's look at when Israel was created. Alright. I had it, but we'll have to fix it and go all the way back there. But 1948. Pretty unique. Israel was created on 3/14/1948. Pi, March 14th. Tying us into, the mathematical constant we use in math. May 14th. My bad. I thought it was March. But either way, March 14th, 1948. May 14th now. 1948. We see that was 75 years ago to the day. So that's something we're going to be talking about, because 75 ties us into World War III. 75 in reverse reduction. The 69 we know we get coming out of eclipse season. Pay attention to that 52, but eclipse giving us the same 69. So shortly after our eclipse seasons and heading into April's eclipse season, I do think the turmoil could get a little bit crazy on the world stage. But this 75 also ties us into the new world order that we have heard a lot about. 75 years, 174 days since the implementation of Israel, the creation of Israel, giving us also that same 69. So very important. One thing, World War gives us that 114, like 11/4, today's date. Heading into the infamous remember the 5th of November. V for Vendetta. Again, if you have not watched this movie, please go and watch it. But again, going back to World War and World War III, we'll just go ahead and keep that. We see it gives us that 52 yet again. Couple 52 connections tying us into the rabbit Chinese zodiacal lunar year we are in right now. 5225, as above so below. So which is why we are going to see this event start to take place by year's end, by February 10th of next year. So very important. But remember the 5th of November. Giving us that very powerful 137. That 168, which we can 1 times 68 is 68, giving us more emphasis on the number 68 and a potential 11/14 this year, start of World War III. So very important. Something I wanted to share with you all. If we take back to the implementation of Israel on 5/14/1948, I just found this amazing connection that it was exactly 911 months ago, preparing us yet again with even more confluence to the upcoming 9/11 event we will see take place. This day is very important because it also gives us 47, which is the 15th prime number in math. And we know that, of course, war equals 15. So very important. An amazing find I just found right there, being 911 months on the 14th to the start of Israel. So I've mentioned for quite some time, almost a year now, that China was going to invade Taiwan. I've even done a video for all my pioneers to see on my channel right here, the Taiwan alert, going back 3 months ago, preparing you for what we are about to see. Go and watch this video right here, as well as D-Day and the preparation for, in my lives, you can see Kamala Diva Harris and welcome Madam President, because while war is going on, we are still going to see some distractions, like a possible Joe Biden batter change, or an alien invasion, cyber attacks, because we see after the, 5-game win of the World Series, we see yet again the fifth bank in America fall as we get ready to head into World War III. So again, pioneers, I've been out here preparing you for this attack and things for quite some time. We know it's roughly been 33 years since the last assassination attempt on a president. So tying us in yet again to the 137 and the 33 we were getting in tonight's decode. So let's pay attention and be wary for anything we may see tying us into some of these scripted events. But I'm going to sign out and leave this here for you all. Hopefully you enjoyed the decode. And take care and God bless. Pioneers rise. Build your fortress and build your legacies. In addition to tonight's video, I found that swarming army defenses snap a 52-game losing streak dating all the way back to 1972 with their win over Air Force Today. 1972 being 1 year before our first Yom Kippur War. Remember, Air Force won last year 13-7 on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November date. 137 is the 13th prime, or the 33rd prime number. And remember, Bob Knight, the general, also coached at Army twice. This 52 is tying us into the 52 we got in Rabbit Year, tying us into the next World War III we are about to watch as we straddle last month's eclipse season and we head into April's eclipse season. So sending you all much love and high vibrations. Pioneers rise, build your fortress and build your legacies.